Hello everyone, Cheryl here. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cheryl Horvath and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Woodinville, Washington. And today I want to talk about Paper Pumpkin. There is a really cute new Paper Pumpkin kit that came out. It arrived I think about a week ago, and this was a really fun kit, and it coordinates. This month's kit coordinates with the sweet ice cream bundle that is currently available in the mini catalog. Now I have to tell you, this is retiring. So if you don't have this catalog, let me know. I can send you a link to it online, or if you already have it, flip to page 49, and this is the bundle that is coordinates with this month's Paper Pumpkin. And this is the designer series paper that we're going to be using today also, along with this stamp set. Again, retiring, that's what these R's are for in my catalog, just so I have a reminder of what's coming and going. But this is really fun paper. It's still available. It is on low inventory, so you want to probably snatch some up while you can, because it will probably go fast. And this will no longer be available after May the 4th. So limited time to get going on that if you're interested. Just to give you an idea, this is the little swatch card I did that shows all the different patterns and designs that come with the designer series paper. I think I have a better picture for you to show you also. No, I guess I don't. But anyway, this is my little cheat sheet. I just did swatches of the different patterns that I can quickly refer to without going through all of my stash of paper. So there's that. If you are familiar with Paper Pumpkin, or you have already seen the unboxing of this Paper Pumpkin, you can by all means jump ahead, because we are going to make some fun cards today that I'm going to show you. But just real quickly, if you're new to Paper Pumpkin, this is what it looks like. It comes in this really pretty red box, and you open it up, and if you're a first-time Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you will get a stamping block included in it. So if this was your first time, you'd have one of these blocks also. But after your first kit, they don't keep sending you the blocks, just so you know. So this is a fun stamp set that gets included, and you can use this time and time again long after, let me get my mouse pointer out of the way, long after the other consumables are gone. So this would be a fun stamp set to carry through, you know, into next summer and summers beyond. It's a great happy birthday stamp and a fun little font. You're so cool, hey there, and way to go. So there's that. You do get an ink block. This ink block coordinates with the kit, and it's in the Bermuda Bay color. Here's a little flyer saying that it coordinates with these papers. And then I'm not going to open this kit because I'm saving it for someone else. But I just wanted to show you how it comes. So you'll have some twine. Typically, these are Stampin' Dimensionals. You'll get envelopes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 12 envelopes. You get some, and I'll show you in my kit that I've already opened and used some. You'll get stickers. You'll get pre-cut card bases. Really fun kit. So this is what we're going to play with today. And if, like I said, if you're new to Paper Pumpkin, this is a great way to have an all-inclusive kit delivered to your door every month. It's $22 a month, which includes shipping, and you usually get enough supplies to make, depending on the kit, between 8 and 12 cards. Plus you'll get the stamp and the ink to keep using after the card bases are already used up. So the Paper Pumpkin kit for next month, which I want to talk about quickly, is called Batter Up. And this is focused on All-Stars. There's a cute little video, which I will link below, that kind of, they never tell you exactly what's in the box. They give you sneak peeks. So this one, it has a baseball theme. There's some bubble gum that gets included in it, which you can use to slide inside your card and give it as a gift, or you could eat it yourself, whatever. But so this is the Paper Pumpkin kit coming up for May, and you have to subscribe by the 10th, May 10th, otherwise you'll miss out. So just like the kit we're going to go through today is no longer available, but you can sign up for the Batter Up one. And how you do that is, oh no, that's the prepaid. You can go to paperpumpkin.com and you can click on subscribe now, and it will walk you through the steps of how to become a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. And it's, as I said, it's $22 a month. You can stop or start anytime. You don't have to commit to 12 months in a row or 3 months in a row. You can simply say, I don't want my kit next month, and they won't charge you. And then if you see an ad coming up for another kit, maybe, you know, in August or around 4th of July, usually they do a fun Independence Day themed set, you could turn it back on again, and at no charge and no extra cost. So it's really a fun way to stay creative every month if you don't want to have all of the different parts and pieces of card making. This is a great kit that helps you bring it all together very easily. Okay, that being said, let me flip back to my desk, and I'm going to show you a couple of the cards that I created with this kit, the alternatives. The kit does come with instructions on how to make some basic cards, so that if you don't want to think outside the box, you don't have to. Let me see if I can. This is the little packet. Once I get it out of the box, it goes from here to here, which is where I store all of my other prior month's Paper Pumpkin kits. So once I get it out of the box, I put it into its own little bag. So let me just start to pull this out. So here are the envelopes, which are fun, have some designer's paper inside. I've used a couple of the stickers already, and I'm going to show you those, but here's the sticker sheets. You get some sparkly paper that it has pre-cut shapes, rectangles, and little jagged circles. And you get card bases that are pre-shaped in the popsicle shape. And then you get some watermelons, some rainbows, more popsicles. And then these are also pre-cut strips that you can use to stamp your sentiments on, like I did here, where it says happy birthday, and that's in the Bermuda Bay ink color that it came with. So these are kind of what's left over after my playing session I had the other day, and I'm just going to use these supplies to make the card again and show you how I did that. Oh, but here's the instructions, in case you needed to know. This comes, every Paper Pumpkin kit has a flyer in it that has instructions. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. It's usually very simple, very easy to follow. They even print a little ruler down here at the bottom so that when you have to measure twine, like it'll say cut 12 inches of baker's twine, so you can just measure along here 12 inches. And then it's got usually maybe some alternative designs for you to follow, or these are the actual suggested designs that you can do. So we're not going to do the suggested designs because they've already been done. So, and I just wanted to show you some fun ways that you could make these cards without doing the way that they have asked you to do it. So let me move this aside and get a clear workspace here. Okay, so the first card I created was using the coordinating colors, and the other cool thing about the Paper Pumpkin flyer is it will tell you exactly the colors that are used that coordinate with this kit. So here you can see it's Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Cinnamon Cider, Old Olive, and Terracotta Tile. So the awesome thing about Stampin' Up! Is everything coordinates, from the ink to the markers to the paper to the designer paper. So this was the first card I made, and I did use the Old Olive blank cardstock, and just made kind of a fun fold card. So there's one. Another card I made using the sticker and the designer series paper with the rainbow card base, and just made a cute little thank you card. This is a birthday card with popsicle on front, and used the designer series paper for the inside. There's that. I did a real simple one where I actually did some coloring, and I love this one. It's just so bright and cheerful. Happy birthday, hope it's sweet. And this is, I used the stamps that came with the set to make this. And last but not least is You're So Cool, with more designer series paper being showcased here. And I just love that paper on the inside. So it just makes it it's a plain white card base with designer series paper on top. And there's and then I jazzed it up with some sparkly paper. Okay, let's do the first one. And I think I'm gonna do this one here first, because I really like it. I think it's awesome. The supplies I have for that is some of the designer series paper that coordinates a piece of old olive, which is 8.5 by 5 1/4. Yep. And I'm going to score this. Let's get this out of the way. I don't know if I talked about this or not. Yeah, but this is the stamp set that we're going to use. This is where I got the thank you and the happy birthday sentiments from. So we're going to score this down the center, which would be 4 1/4. And that's going to make the card base like so. Then we're going to score it again right down the center here at 2 1/8 to do the fun fold. So half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8. So I'm going to score that, and I feel like the light's a little too bright here. There we go. And we are going to then fold this backwards, like so. And I'm just going to grab a bone folder and just really tighten up those creases. That helps it lie a little bit flatter. Okay, so there's our card base. And then we need the kiwi card base, which looks like this. And you could use this as a card by itself. Just fold it over and, you know, write your little note on it, or put a decoration on the front, and slip it inside the envelope, and it'd be a cute little card. But I'm actually going to utilize this blank piece here. So I'm going to trim that down. Actually, I'm not going to trim it down. I'm actually just going to cut it in half. So just line that up. Cut that in half. So now I have 2 pieces, like so. And then we're going to use the pattern paper. This is just a standard 1/4 sheet of 8.5 by 11, but I'm going to give it a border, so I'm going to trim this down a little bit. And I'm just going to take a 1/4 off each side. Not each side, off 2 sides, I should say. Like that. And that's going to get fixed right there. I'm going to grab my stamp and seal. Put this down. Come on. Okay. And then we're going to stick this down there like so. And then this piece needs to be cut. Let's see, when did I do that? I think I did a 1/4 inch. So it looks like it's going to be, that is 5 1/2. So it's going to be 5 1/4 by, let me think, see here. Let's do 5 1/4 first. And so that's going to fit nicely there. Then we need to take off another quarter off this side. Oops. So that fits there. Oops, a little bit more than a quarter. There. And then this is going to go right here, just like so. My tape is running low, and it gives me fits when it's, because it doesn't come off the wheel quite as nicely when you have a full roll of tape in there, but I'm going to use it all to the end. Okay. So that's going to go just like that. So the fun fold part is you're going to center this right on top of the card, but you're only going to glue it down to this half. So I'm going to grab my Tombow Mono glue, and I'm going to pretend like there's a line dividing this popsicle in half. And I'm just going to put some glue down in half of the popsicle stick, like so. And then I am sticking this down just like that. And give it a good press. Okay, so now the fun part is lining this up, which is not that hard really. So we're going to just put some glue on the back of this. And I'm using the glue so that if I have to wiggle it a little bit, I can. So we're just going to take the unglued side, make sure that's facing up, and we're going to line it up just like so. And give that a good press, make sure it closes, lines up. Yep, we're good. There, now you've got a cute little spot for you to write on that's covered when the card is closed. Like so. So now we just need to decorate the front. Oh, and you know what I did? I glued this down before I tied on the bow, so we'll have to just improvise a little bit. But I used Old Olive ink because it matches the paper. And I grabbed one of the circle die cuts, which looks like this. And what did I do with the stamp set? It's still in the pocket. And I grabbed the Hey There. I'm using a foam mat underneath my stamping because with the clear photopolymer stamps, they stamp a little nicer if you have a cushion beneath them. So I'm just going to ink this up good. Give it a good press. So there's that. Wipe off my stamp. And put this back. Now I did give it a little bit of bling. So let's see here. Did I just do that? Yeah, I did. So we're just going to tape this down to the front like so. And did I pop that up on dimensionals? I did. So we're going to grab some dimensionals that come with the kit. And probably 3 would be good. This is your take your pick tool, which is awesome. I use it for pulling the backs off the, among other things, the backs off the dimensionals. And I'm just going to place this right about there. And using the twine that came, I feel like I dropped it somewhere. Get back over here. So in the original card design, I wrapped the bow twice around the popsicle and then I glued it down. So you can see there's the, but in this case, I'm just going to make a bow because I got ahead of myself. So for a bow, I usually only need about 8 inches or so. So I'm just going to cut one and cut one more. This is in the bumblebee color, which is always bright and cheery for summer. And I like to pull the ends at different widths or lengths so that the bow is a little bushier. It just gives it a little bit more something. And we're just going to take a glue dot and stick that on right there, right like that. And you can cut those ends to your liking. But there's our first card. Isn't that cute? It stands. It's like a Z fold. Okay. Okay. For card number 2, we are going to make this one. And so what I'm going to do is start with a quarter sheet of 8.5 by 11 basic white cardstock. I prep a lot of my cardstock in advance, and so I just take 8.5 by 11 sheets and cut them into quarters, and so that I always have a quick and easy card base ready. And I have in front of me a magnetic strip, and so this is where I keep all of my pre-cut cardstock. And I have actually a whole row across the front of me. So I've got black in one, and I've got white in another, and I have crumb cake in another, and then I have scrap. This is my scrap bin. It's just, this is printer paper that was scrap, and this is little printed card bases that didn't work out that I can use the back side for scrap when I need to, or to, you know, stamp off and do things like that. So it's just handy to have right in front of me. So we are going to use the watermelon stamp. We're going to use some black Memento tuxedo black ink, and we're going to use some alcohol blends, Stampin' blends in the Granny Apple Green Light and Dark and the Melon Mambo Light and Dark, and then a color lifter. And I'll show you how I do a special trick with that. So to get going, we'll do the card base, which is just repetitive stamping across the front. I'm going to grab my stamp foam mat. I'm going to grab a extra sheet of scrap printer paper because I'm going to stamp off a little bit. Let's get rocking and rolling here. This particular stamp fits perfectly on your C block. And these are the best. They're ergonomic blocks. They have little curves on the edge, so it makes them really easy to hold, but you also keep your fingers out of the ink when you're inking it, and that's because they're so thick. These are awesome. They're my most favorite acrylic blocks out there. Okay, so we're just going to do a little repetitive stamping here. I'm going to stamp first. I'm going to stamp off. Like that. Then, and I'm just going to eyeball it. If you wanted to draw a straight line across the perimeter of this so that you stayed lined up, you could, but I'm just going to eyeball it here. If you're a little bit off, doesn't matter. And I'm rotating every stamp I rotate so that they kind of squish together like that. There. Now while we're stamping, and you noticed on this one, I did the inside too, so we're gonna do that. Grab another card base and just do the same thing. But I stamped off quite a bit lower than the front so that there was more real estate to write your note on. And if you wanted to color the inside, you could. I just was saving time. Okay, so that's what we're stamping for there. While we've got the ink out, we might as well do the sentiment and the rest of the stamping on the front of the card. And that is using the stamp set here. And I used this little sentiment, hope it's sweet. And this fits perfectly on the G block. It's a long and skinny block for mini sentiments, just like this. So let's set this aside because that one's done. So we're going to stamp Hope It's Sweet right up here. Just like that. So glad I didn't mess that up. Then we're going to grab our Happy Birthday. And this one fits on the H block beautifully. So now, remember the scrap paper bin I told you about? We're going to use a piece of scrap basic white, and there's typing on this side of it because I was making some birthday cards, but you can totally use this half of the paper and not let it go to waste. So what I'm going to do now is ink up Happy Birthday. And I'm just going to do this. Whoops. I bumped it. I might have to... Oh no, it actually came out okay. So there's that. I think we're done with the stamping now. Put that away. So now for this, what I'm going to do is just trim it down with, what did I do with the trimmer? Here it is. Just trim this down. Like so. Throw this back in my scrap bucket. And then I'm going to use my banner pick-a-punch to flag the ends, which is this guy right here, the banner pick-a-punch. I don't know if this is right. I don't think this one's retiring. I love this punch though. I use this all the time. Just gonna flip it over so I can make sure I have everything lined up. Give it a punch. Slide that back in. There. So now our banner's done. Set that aside. Put the box in. We don't need that anymore. And let's get to coloring. This is the fun part. Okay, so I'm going to start with the granny apple. And I'm going to do all the green, and then I'm going to do all the melon Mambo. So I'm going to start with the dark. And I like to use the nib end, especially when it's smaller spaces. And I'm just going to do a quick little border. Hopefully my head's not in the way. No. But I could zoom in a little bit for you, couldn't I? Oops, wrong way. There. So I just start with doing a darker green border along the edge. This is really simple. This goes really fast. This is probably my favorite color green out of all of them. I love it. So just like that. Now we're just going to, because of if you notice, the rind of the watermelon kind of fades from dark to light as you go in. So now I'm just taking the light and I'm just going to blend that in just like that. Okay, done with the green. Let's grab our Melon Mambo. And watermelon is also a deeper red color towards the center. And the outer, closer it is to the rind, is more lighter pink. So I'm starting with the light pink this time. The light magenta, or I'm sorry, Melon Mambo. And this one I'm actually going to use the brush end. And I'm just going to give it a good coat throughout. Now, if you didn't feel like doing two colors, you don't have to. You could just do the one, leave it at this. But when you add a little bit of the dark into the center, it just kind of gives it a little bit more depth. And then you can blend it like that. And then you don't have to do this step, but you could grab your color lifter and just run it along the edge of the rind where the green and the pink meet up. And do you see how it's kind of getting lighter? You're just pulling some color out of it, and so it looks a little bit more realistic. Isn't that fun? Okay. There. So then, and I do like to just kind of scrub off the end in case there's any pink that transferred to the end of your lifter pen. And then I'd like to add a little bit of accent using my white gel pen. And I'm just going to put just, I don't know, a couple of along the rinds. And some little dots. It just gives it a little bit of a extra something. Like that. Let that dry for a second. While that's drying, we're going to grab a piece of the Melon Mambo in the pink color. And this is just a 1-inch strip, I think. So yeah, we'll cut this down. So, oh, and we need to cut the card base down because this is going to go on top. So this is just a basic black card base, 8.5 by 5 1/4, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. I should probably zoom back out so that you can see what I'm doing. Other way, like so. So give this a good press. And see, on the original card I have a border, and then this is, like I said, I didn't cut this down first. I should have, but that's all right. We're gonna fix it right now. We're gonna do off the top here 1/4 inch, and then we're going to take it off this side and do the 1/4. So no harm, no foul there. Now this sits on there like that. In fact, we can glue this down right now. I'm going to use my Seal Plus because it's got more tape in it than my other one, and it glides better. And it's super strong. So just center this on top of your card, just like so. Then we're going to cut this piece down to 5 1/4. I love this little guy, but sometimes it's just not big enough. I have to bring this guy out. Cut it down to 5 1/4. And I think we're going to make this, is that 1 inch? Yep, going to make it 1 inch. And then the other cutting we have to do is we have to grab a rectangle from the sparkly strip, which is not that. Here it is. Here's one. So what I did here is I cut it in half this way, and then I cut it in half again. So I should have a couple other spare parts and pieces over here, but I might have used them. So we're just going to, this is a 1 inch strip, so we're going to set up that 1/2 inch line. Give it a cut. Then I'm going to cut it in half again. And this really helps extend your materials so that you have lots more sparkles to use in your cards. Okay, so let's grab our 1 inch strip and we're going to put that right there. Whoop. It caught on me. That's how strong this stuff is. It can kind of grab the paper sometimes and go crazy on you. So just eyeball it, put this up right about there. Then looks like we popped these up on dimensionals. I have a little strip there that was bugging me. We should put these behind it. So we're just going to take a glue dot and adhere these little silver strips. So just one little glue dot on the end right here, and we're just going to slide this like that. Do the same. Get that down there. Put some dimensionals. Probably 4 will be fine. Oops. And then just center this across the center of the strip, like so. And then we just need to put this on the inside, but I have to cut this one down too, because I forgot to do that. So let's just take off a 1/4 inch there, and a 1/4 inch there. So happy birthday, hope it's sweet. And then you've got lots of room to write your message inside. Okay, that's card number 2. Should we keep going? The other one I want to show you how I made was this thank you card, because it was really cute. This is using a white card base, which I will grab right now. And I used the white basic white thick, and you notice this card opens like this. So we're going to trim this. To prepare this card base, we're going to cut it down the center at 4 1/4 and set this aside for another card, and then we're going to score it at 5.5. And be sure you don't use your cutting blade. I've done that so many times. The light gray one's the scoring blade. So here's our card base. I love the thick, the basic white thick. I feel like it just gives it so much more sturdiness, I guess, and it just feels like a well-made card. Okay, so for the background on this, we're going to use one of the rainbows, and we're just going to cut this apart. I'm going to kind of not go straight across because it'll give it too sharp of a straight edge, so I'm kind of rounding it a little bit as I go, like so. Set this aside because we could probably use that for something else, scrap if anything. Then we'll stamp in a second. So the background is basically, it's a full quarter sheet of this color, and all I did was I flipped this like that, and so left the polka dots at the bottom and the blue across the top to kind of mimic what I thought looked like a sky. But it's a 1/4 inch too long, so we're going to trim this down. Yeah. So just take off 1/4 here. And 1/4 here, and 1/4 on this end. Oops. Get it straight. There. I don't think I need to trim the bottom end of this. That would be double trimming it, I think. So this just goes like that. Oh, I do need to trim. I have to have an overlap. I guess it wouldn't matter. I can make that work. So I'll trim it down one more time. There, now it all fits. Okay, so let's glue this down. Well, you got to be careful. This stuff is so stinking sticky that if you don't get it in positioned perfectly the first time you try, you got to commit. There, like that. Then this rainbow is just going to go here, and then here's where the sticker comes in. Cute little sun sticker. So we just made a little scene. So we're just going to put that guy right there. And we're going to adhere him down. And to make sure he's straight, like so. Then we need a piece of scrap again, so we're going to use the same one we used before. Grab our thank you stamp, which is right here. I love the font on this stamp set. Absolutely love it. Oops, not the right size block. Use this one. And you didn't have to use black for the thank you. You could have actually used maybe even green or the pink. Yellow would be too light probably. But get that down just like that. That came out nice. Gonna trim this down. like so. And let's see, I cut that off square. So let's do this. Like that. And I don't want that much white showing on this end, so I'm going to trim this down to just eyeball it a little bit, like there. And then I'm going to stick it in my flagger again. Oops, gotta open it. I might have to put a post-it note on this if it goes in too far. Nope, I still can grab a hold of it. So there's my thank you. Then we're going to take some spare strips from this piece and we can cut, yeah, that'll work just fine. So we're just going to cut a 1/4 inch off this end, and it will still leave the other circle pieces intact. So you're just using every scrap of this silver that you can. And I'm just going to use my paper snips, clean up that edge, and let's see here, how did I do that? So I'm just going to eyeball it here. Do that. Going to grab some glue and put this right along the base. Come on. I'm getting low on my glue too. Well, okay. We're going to go to, let's see here. Oh, we can use tape because it's all going to get adhered down. So I'm just going to use a little bit of adhesive along the bottom here. Oops, this is the strip I had. Put this over here so that just a little sliver shows. Just for a little bit of sparkle. And then I'm going to just trim this so that the corners match. A little bit better than that. Like so. And then clean up this edge. Like that. I'm going to put tape on the rest of it. And I'm going to line this up to the edge. Like that. Almost done. Take my bumblebee, cut me a piece. Fuss with it for a second. And then I'm going to stick it right there with another glue dot. But I think the glue dot is going to be too big. Oh, I had one down here already. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool. And I'm just going to kind of roll this dot up so that it's not so big. But I have basically just a little blob of glue dot right here. And then I'm going to put it where I want my bow to be, like so. And then stick my bow right on top of it. That way you don't have a ton of extra glue oozing out. So there's the front. Now to finish off the inside, took another card base. I'm going to trim off the 1/4 inch this time so I don't forget. And just going to eyeball this like that. Then the strips that I made, I keep everything. So far we've had a handful of little strips like this that you can totally use, and I just picked up one. In this case it was, or no, sorry, in this case here, it was a rainbow one. But here we're going to do the polka dots because it'll match nicely on the front. And so we're just going to see if we can get our glue to work. Oh, there it goes. Isn't that funny? Sometimes it'll come out and sometimes it won't. I did get a little bit too much glue on there though, so let me put this down. The silicone mat is great because if you do get a little bit too much glue, like, see, that's gonna ooze out and get sticky. So I'm just gonna kind of wipe it here on my mat. Now it's gonna be perfect. And then as soon as this dries, it just rubs right off. So this is a silicone mat, and it's also available in the catalog. I have a couple of them because it really protects your work surface and comes in handy in tricks like that. And let's grab our Seal Plus. And pop that in there like that. So here's our finished card. All right, so let's just do a recap. I think we're gonna end at 2 cards today. I didn't make this one, but this was super simple to make. You're really just cutting a piece of DSP. I'll tell you. You're basically gonna cut it 10.5 to 4 inches, and then score it right down the center, and then glue this onto just a plain white, basic white thick card base. And so this becomes, the DSP becomes the flap of your paper. And then I just took the extra piece from the popsicle card. I cut it in half just like I cut the other one, so cut that in half. And I used this on the front, and then I put this, mimicked this inside on the back, and I stamped "You're So Cool." So that's basically how I did that one. Okay, so let's pull these all together. We have these. We have cute little happy birthday watermelons. And we have kiwis. Hey there, kiwis. And then the 2 that we didn't make today is this one and the watermelon one. So there's my paper pumpkin alternatives for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would really love it if you shared the video and liked it and made a comment. When you do that, it really helps me broaden my exposure to the community of people who like to watch crafting videos. If you are not a member of Stampin' Up, or if you do not have a demonstrator of your own and would like any of the products that are used in the video today, I do sell them. You can go to cardsbycheryl.com and click on Shop With Me. And that will take you to my online store where you can purchase products, and I'd love to be your demonstrator. So having said all of that, I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you have fun. I hope you sign up for Paper Pumpkin and subscribe. It really is a treat every month. I look forward to it so much. And they're all different, and it's just fun to get a surprise and not really know what you're going to get until you open it up and start playing with it. So enjoy. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.